You are 30 years old. You own 5 luxury cars, a mansion overlooking the water, a garage bigger than the house you grew up in. Your watch costs more than your parents earned in a year, and yet, every single night, before you fall asleep, you check your bank account. Not because you need the money, because you're terrified of watching it disappear. Most people think becoming rich solves the fear of losing money, but what if it actually makes that fear louder? And what if the biggest difference between someone who stays wealthy and someone who loses everything has nothing to do with how much they own, but everything to do with what happened long before they became rich? Before we continue, if you're fascinated by the hidden psychology of wealth, subscribe to Silent Millionaire, because this isn't a channel about making money, it's a channel about understanding the mind that keeps it. Now, close your eyes for a second. Imagine this life is yours, because for the next few minutes, it is. The gates slide open as your car approaches. The security cameras recognize the license plate. The lights lining the driveway slowly come alive. Everything feels perfect. The house sits quietly on top of the hill, modern, minimal, almost intimidating. People online would call it a dream. You park inside a garage that could easily fit 10 cars. A black Rolls-Royce, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Porsche, a vintage Mercedes you've never driven. You don't smile anymore when you see them. You simply walk past them, because after a while, luxury becomes furniture. Inside, the house is silent, too silent. No television, no music, just the faint sound of the air conditioner. You place your phone on the marble kitchen island. A notification appears. Your investment portfolio gained $48,000 today. You glance at it, lock the phone, and pour yourself a glass of water. 10 years ago, that number would have changed your life. Today, it doesn't even change your mood. The next morning, your assistant hands you today's schedule: a meeting with architects, lunch with investors, a charity event, dinner with 2 founders raising capital. Your calendar is full. Your bank account is fuller, but somehow you feel empty. Not unhappy, just constantly alert, as if something could go wrong at any moment. On your way to the office, you stop at a red light. A beat-up pickup truck pulls up beside you. Inside, a father is laughing with his little daughter. She points at something outside. He laughs even harder. The light turns green. They drive away. And for reasons you can't explain, you keep watching them long after they're gone. Later that afternoon, you're sitting in a conference room on the 42nd floor. The city stretches beneath you. One of your advisors smiles. "We had another great quarter." Everyone around the table starts celebrating. Someone jokes about buying another vacation home. Another person suggests upgrading the company jet. Everyone seems excited, except you, because one question suddenly enters your mind. A question you haven't been able to escape for months. How much is enough? That evening, instead of driving home, you take the long way through the city, past the apartment building where you lived at 22, the old grocery store, the gas station where you used to count every dollar before filling your tank. You park across the street and just sit there. You remember the version of yourself who dreamed about becoming exactly who you are today. Back then, you believed something so simple it never felt worth questioning. "Once I'm rich, I'll finally feel safe." You smile, not because it was true, but because you genuinely believed it. And that's when you realize the most expensive thing you own may not be the mansion, or the cars, or the investments. It may be a belief you've been carrying for years, one that no amount of money has ever been able to buy away. But where did that belief come from? That's where the story really begins.
That night, you don't go inside. You stay parked across the street, watching the apartment where everything began. The balcony is still too small. The paint is still peeling. The hallway light still flickers every few seconds. Nothing has changed, except you. Or at least, that's what you thought. You remember your first job, 22 years old. The paycheck wasn't impressive, but you carried it like a trophy. On payday, you would open your banking app every few hours, just to make sure the money was still there. Not because it was growing, because seeing it made you feel safe. You weren't chasing wealth, you were chasing relief. The memory fades. Another one takes its place. You're 10 years old, standing quietly in the kitchen doorway. Your parents don't notice you're there. Bills cover the dining table. Your father rubs his forehead. Your mother whispers, "We'll figure something out." Nobody is yelling, nobody is angry, but the room feels heavy. You don't understand mortgages, or debt, or interest rates, but your brain learns something anyway. Money disappears, and when it does, people become afraid. Without realizing it, you make a silent promise to yourself: "When I grow up, I'll make so much money that I'll never feel this again." It sounds like ambition, but it isn't. It's fear, disguised as a goal. Years later, that fear becomes fuel. You work while your friends are sleeping. You skip vacations, miss birthdays, ignore weekends. Every promotion becomes another reason to work even harder. People admire your discipline. They call you driven, focused,
focused, obsessed. They only see the results. They never see what's chasing you. Because you're not running toward wealth, you're running away from a memory. At 30, everyone thinks you've won. Your social media is filled with comments. Living the dream. Goals. Must be nice. You smile for the photos, then close the app because nobody sees what happens afterward. Every market drop feels personal. Every unexpected expense feels dangerous. Every investment feels like it could erase everything you've built. Not because the numbers are small, because the fear never left. It simply bought a nicer house. A week later, you meet an older investor. No designer clothes, no bodyguards, no expensive watch. You almost mistake him for someone's accountant. After lunch, he asks if you'd like to see his home. You expect another mansion. Instead, he drives to a quiet neighborhood, a beautiful house, comfortable, elegant, nothing excessive. You can't help asking, "I thought you'd have something bigger." He smiles. "I could. So why don't you?" He looks out the window before answering. "Because I stopped buying things to convince myself I was safe." The sentence hangs in the air. You don't respond because somehow it feels like he wasn't talking about houses. He was talking about you. Before you leave, he walks you to your car, then asks one simple question. One question nobody has ever asked you. If everything you owned disappeared tomorrow, what part of you would still be wealthy? You open your mouth. Nothing comes out. Because for the first time in years, you realize you've spent your entire life building assets, but you've never asked yourself whether you had built a wealthy identity. And deep down, you already know the answer.
You drive home in complete silence. No music, no phone calls, no podcasts. Just the sound of the engine and that question. If everything you owned disappeared tomorrow, what part of you would still be wealthy? For the first time in years, you don't know the answer. The next morning, you cancel every meeting. Your assistant sounds confused. "You've never canceled a full day before." "I know, but today isn't about business. It's about me." She pauses, then quietly says, "I hope you find what you're looking for. So do you." You walk into your garage. 5 luxury cars. 5 different dreams your younger self once promised would make you happy. You stand there for several minutes. Then something strange happens. You don't see cars anymore. You see milestones. The first one, bought after your biggest promotion. The second, after your company doubled in value. The third, to celebrate a deal you barely remember. Each purchase gave you the same feeling, a rush, then silence. So you bought something else, not because you needed it, because you were trying to recreate a feeling that never lasted. That afternoon, you sit alone with a notebook. At the top of the page, you write one sentence. Why do I want more? You expect an answer like freedom, security, comfort. Instead, another sentence appears, almost by itself. Because I'm still trying to prove I'll never be poor again. You stop writing. Your hands freeze. That wasn't a financial realization. It was personal. For years, you believed you were building wealth, but underneath every decision, there was a frightened child trying to outrun yesterday. No investment could ever solve that. Over the next few months, something begins to change. Not your income, your decisions. When you make money, you no longer ask, "What can I buy?" You ask, "What can I build?" When someone buys a bigger house, you stop comparing. When the market falls, you stop panicking. Because you finally understand something. Money can disappear. Businesses can fail. Markets can crash. But a person who knows how to create value never starts from zero. They start from experience, from discipline, from identity. That's the one asset nobody can take away. One evening, you drive back to the old apartment one last time. The same building, the same balcony, the same flickering hallway light. This time, you don't see the place where you were poor. You see the place where your story began. You quietly thank that younger version of yourself, the one who believed money would solve everything. He didn't know any better. He wasn't weak. He was afraid. And fear built an empire, but it also built a prison. Now, you finally know the difference. Weeks later, someone asks you a question at a charity dinner. If you lost everything today, what would you do? You smile. Not because it's impossible, because you're no longer afraid of the answer. I'd start again. Why are you so sure? You look at them for a moment, then say, because the wealth that built my life was never sitting in my garage. It was sitting in my mind. As you leave the event, you pass a young man staring through the glass, looking at an expensive sports car. His eyes are filled with the same hunger you once had. You almost stop to tell him something. Not about investing, not about business, not about making millions, just one sentence. The sentence you wish someone had told you when you were 22. Don't spend your life trying to look wealthy. Spend it becoming the person who can never stop creating wealth. You keep walking. The city lights fade behind you. The mansion is still
there, the cars are still there, but for the first time, you realize they were never the destination. They were only the evidence of a mind that finally stopped chasing safety and started creating value. Because real wealth begins the moment your identity becomes richer than your lifestyle. That's the day money stops owning you.